this shit exclusive. My little homegirl put me on. She said, "Remix this shit, brand new, free flow."
If you do not want to change, if you do not want to better yourself, if you do not want to break outside of this matrix, if you want to live in your comfortable delusion that they have built for you,
because when I step to the game, I rip that shit apart. My evolution with the Gyarados from Magic Carpet, and I ain't finished shopping till the whole world is in my cart. When you fucking with me, you choose a role and play your part. Beneficial functionality and strategize it smart.
Don't want to understand. If you are not here to
only if the universe
hear something that's outside of your own mind and accept others' minds and opinions and the way they think for themselves, you do not belong.
Reaching the stars, still I will never get them tatted over my heart.
If you are not trying to be positive, if you are not trying to help create solutions while we discuss the problems and how they got here, you do not belong here. Negativity, hate, disrespect, name calling, those things will not be allowed here on this platform, and not in this empire. We are the ones, the true Americans, that want to be free and stand as we have always stood.
Like the seats in my car. Cool yourself off, refrigerator and jar. Baby rappers be not like this is not an art. It's not an art. You forgot about that part. Lady rappers been acting like this is not an art. You forgot about that part. Yo, what up, guys? Everybody forgot about us, and you know what? I forgot about us for a second. I sure as hell was not feeling the StreamYard shit. I wasn't fucking with it. StreamYard didn't piss me off. I'm not gonna lie. I don't give a damn. I'm pretty pissed about this whole stupid situation. Now, it's okay because I'm over it. We're having an overtime emergency podcast today. Appreciate everybody that did overtime today. Everybody that was, in it to win it like Bennett. You feel me? You guys are everything. We appreciate y'all. People that did overtime, people that work a regular job. You guys make the world go round. Don't ever forget that. And we will move forward with the explanation. Hopefully everybody has a good day today. It's one of those things where I hope everybody had a good day today, A lot of people don't realize that every day is something that should be expected to be different. Every day should be expected to be different. We have to also realize that if every day was the same, you think you're bored now, right? Which is why there's small, little, unexpected things that happen. Just randomly all over the world. Just randomly, And that's something that's actually pretty cool. It's not very well documented or thought about, these kinds of things. People forget that there's a simplicity to life. With this simplicity can come a misunderstanding of what actually is versus what isn't. And what is something that's preventable. Okay, we have ways to control, prevent, and contain collateral damage to a certain degree. We have these mechanisms in place, but do people really care? That's where we're starting to run into a brick wall. Because if people aren't caring about the outcomes that they actually have control over, if they don't care, where's the awareness? Where's the awareness? This is something that we need to make sure we're paying attention. Where's the awareness for each situation? When you're making a decision, do you know what you're doing? Is it something that you're thinking about actively? And even to go a step further, do you even care about the lives that are going to be affected by that? Is that something that's on your mind when you're actively making a choice? And if that is on your mind when you're actively making a choice, well, thank you. Thank you for actually caring. There's not a lot of people out there like you. All right. And it's definitely taken for granted. All right. There's a lot of people that take that kindness that many people have. Okay. They take advantage of it. But then they expect that kindness to still be there after they take advantage of it. When they turn around, they're just like, hey, you know, you were nice last time, even though you were complete ass to them. And you're expecting them to be nice again is ridiculous. And this is where I believe that nice guys finish last isn't really a thing. I think, and I know from actual looking, nice guys get fucked off. Okay, and then they get tired of getting fucked off. Even nice women, nice girls, they get tired of getting fucked off from these assholes, because, you know, he's tall, charming, beautiful, and he's saying all the right things, and she finally thinks it's her turn. But baby girl, there's only 10 of that guy in the whole world. You really think it's your turn? You really think he wants to be with you? Did he put a ring on your finger after 6 months to a year? Did he say, hey, you know what? I see myself having a future with you. I see myself having a life with you. I see us having kids and growing old together. Did he say any of that? Did he really? Okay, don't complain then. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you didn't get the confirmation first, why even show up to the party? If you didn't get the invite, why show up to the party? Okay? And that's what a lot of women are doing. They're not getting invited by this man. They're getting told that this man's being straight up about it too. Oh yeah, I'll rock your world, girl, woom, woom, woom. He's not gonna mention, I'm gonna stay with you. He's not gonna mention, oh, the future. He's not gonna mention any of these things because he doesn't have that kind of eye for you. He's mentioning all this sexual stuff, getting you buttered up, getting your body ready, because he just wants you to give him your body. And then, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. It's all good. Don't be upset about it if you're okay with that. If you gave your body to this man without commitment, without him saying that he wanted a future with you, saying that he wants kids with you, boom, boom. And if you don't want kids and you don't want a future with a man, then, hey, girl, more power to you. You got your career. You already paying all your bills. Go fuck on the dick you want. But don't be mad at him if he's fucking other bitches, because you don't need him. You don't care. You don't want a relationship that's longevity, and when you have a longevity relationship, what comes with that? Family, all kinds of things, responsibility, accountability. And if you don't want that kind of guy that, you know, he wants to be with his wife and family, you don't want none of that. Stay away from good guys and go be with the assholes. See, this is all choice. You can't be a bitch and have all kinds of fucked up expectations for a man and then say you don't need a man, right? And then say you don't want a family, and then say you want a decent guy that's gonna love you and do everything you want. But what about what he wants? Because the good guys want families. Okay, I'm sorry. The good guys want you all to himself. They want kids. They want something that they know is theirs and it's sure. And if you can't give him that, you don't deserve him. You don't deserve that at all. You deserve the same assholes that have been playing you up and down the court. That's what you want, because you're not having a higher expectation for yourself. Good guys want family and legacy. A good gentleman that has a really like good intentions towards you, he wants more than just sex. Okay? And yeah, you're probably gonna have to listen to him a little bit, ladies, just a little bit. It's not a bad thing. There's some good guys out there. Real shit. Yo, what up, what up? Shout out in the chat. What up, what up? What's up, Joe? Not today is one of those days because, I mean, I'm just seeing so much stuff out there. I'm talking about like the confusion that is going on between just relationships in general. I'm talking about business relationships, friendships, whatever. Men, we have to set a standard with ourselves at this point. because women, the standards they have are self-destructive. All right, they have standards that are just ironic. I'm talking about hypocritical. They conflict with each other, because on one hand you want to be single, handle your stuff, you don't want to have to listen or rely on a man, but on the other hand you want a man to come in already built and already made and just take over all your responsibility from you, and he's gonna have to provide that, and you can pick and choose what you do with him. That is a mental disorder. Okay, that's mentally imbalanced. I mean, if you look at, okay, you're already doing everything the man is supposed to do. Okay, what is the, okay, if as a woman you're doing everything a man is supposed to do, all right, and you don't need him for none of that, what do you need him for? That's the question. What do you need him for? Entertainment? Like, what do you really need him for? I'm trying to put my mind on it. To open the door for you? What do you need that man for? If you're already doing everything a man can do, because you have freedom of rights and all this other stuff, and you know, you got your feminism and down with the patriarchy, and what do you need men for? Especially if you don't want a family, what do you need men for? I mean, you guys got all kinds of devices to handle your sexual urges. What do you need a man for? Nothing, right? So why do you want a man if you don't need him? Why do women always want things they don't need? It doesn't make any sense to me. It will never make sense to me. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best to understand women, give women grace. Like, men, I already know men are just gonna do whatever they can do to fucking make the best out of this fucked up situation. And a lot of men are like, you know what? Fuck it. I just want to get my dick wet and I'ma just do my thing. Sure, you don't want to bust? All right, I'm out. Okay, now women don't have a choice but to just let him hit, or else she's gonna be lonely, because she doesn't need him for anything. She just wants his attention and his company, and the only way you're gonna get his attention and company is by busting it wide open, baby. I'm sorry. Because you don't need him to provide for you. You don't need his protection. All you need is his sex and whatever money you can get up out of him. But you don't need his money, right? So what do you need a man for? Nothing. Why do you want things that you don't need, ladies? Okay? Why want a man you don't need? That doesn't make any sense. You need to want a man that you need. And what does a successful man have for a successful woman? Nothing. A successful woman is already paying all her bills and handling all her masculine responsibilities that impact her direct life. She doesn't need him for shit. But why does she want him for? Oh, because if he comes in already made, he can alleviate some of the stress so she can feel better. Oh, wait a minute. So she does want a man to provide and protect? She does need that so she can have more clarity? Oh. So what are you saying, ladies? Stop giving the mixed signals. I need you to take your time to figure out what you truly want. Feminism says you have a choice. Now make one. Make a choice. Are you going to be a good stay-at-home mother that makes her money on the side or whatever in a convenient kind of way, so she doesn't have to go into an office listening to some other man because she already has to listen to her husband? Or do you want to be a bad bitch, independent, that handles all her own shit, does what she wants to, don't need a man for nothing except sex and a baby, and that's all you get from him? Because why should he treat you like you need him for something when you don't? Why should he show up and go above and beyond for you if you don't need that? Oh, he should want to do that because he no. No man wants to go out of his way unless it's needed. Okay? If we need to do the shit because it's a need, we'll do it. Necessities are a man's #1 priority. The children need to be protected. The wife needs to be protected. The house needs to be paid for. The food, the materials, all that. Needs. That's what men do. You don't need nothing. Why the fuck is you messing with them? That don't make no sense to me. It'll never make no sense to me. Oh, because you want to? Well, whoop-de-fucking-do. Oh, well, shit. I want $1 billion. But do I need $1 billion? Probably not. Not $1 billion. You know? I mean, $1 million would set you up just nice to where you can live a modest life, and, you know, you can get returns on your money and the dividends and the different there's so many different ways, especially with APR or AYP or APY, whatever. Anyways, you have so many ways to get money back, right? Without having to work. That if you only had $1 million, $2 million, you could literally sit up and chill. If you were modest, if you were very humble and had humility, you wouldn't need nothing. You would have a 3 to 5 bedroom house, all your bills paid, nothing to worry about, and you'd be able to continue your life. Hey, you got the right stocks, you got the right bonds, you got the right cryptos, things like that. They're gonna give you money back, and they'll go up and up, and the higher they go, the more money you get back, right? For just leaving your money there. These are things that the regular person needs to think about. See, there's this ghetto mentality that's taking America by storm. The ghetto. It's not nothing to do with black. It's nothing to do with American culture. It's ghetto. And ghetto comes from the bottom of the gutter. And if you look at other countries versus America, right? America, yeah, it's bad in the ghetto and in these little bum areas, whatever. But if you look at other countries, it's worse than that. Okay? It's crazy. It's bad. And those people are coming from over there. They're coming here, and they're like, "Oh wow, this is nowhere near as bad as it is over there, and I could just sleep on the street and blah blah, do whatever I want and rob and kill and steal and whatever." And they're coming over here for that, and it is ridiculous. Okay, I definitely want to give a shout out to the people that are helping make America decent for now. Because as far as America being great, I think it's great now. The thing is, there's a lot of confusion that's trying to deteriorate that greatness. So making America great again isn't really a thing. It's more like make America, you know, straight again. Something like that. Because everything's getting real gay. I'm sorry. I know, oh wow, he's so good. You know what, dude? I was born in the fucking 90s, the 80s. I was born in the 80s. I'm a 90s baby, whatever, dude. Gay is gay. Like, gay used to be not such a good thing back in the day, okay? And it wasn't that, oh, gay people suck. It was just like, yo, that's gay. And like, you know, gay was not a good thing at the time. Okay, when I was younger, in the 90s, running around, dudes were saying shit like, oh, shut up, Jew. Oh, shut up, gay. And you weren't a Jew. You weren't gay, but they would say that shit. You feel me? Nowadays, people are so, what's the word? They're so stuck up in the fact that other people are calling them names or whatever. But see, here's the thing. When somebody calls you a name or says something mean to you, did that ever warrant hurting them in any kind of way? Did that ever warrant, like, you know, attacking somebody for saying something? When this is America, people can say what they want. And yes, words do have consequences, but unless it's a direct threat, there should be no kind of course of aggression towards those words. Now, if you want to crack a joke back, you know what I'm saying, and talk your shit, we always used to do the dozens and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, like, people used to have to take that L on the chin, bro. Like, there was no, like, yo, and if you got clowned out the room, bro, like, yeah, a lot of people ran and went to go cry or whatever, bro. But, I mean, still, we have to look at the bigger picture, okay? Some people are just weak, all right? Now, weakness has nothing to do with kindness, but people will take kindness for weakness and take advantage of your kindness, but guess what? That is not for you to decide. Your job is to continue to be kind and to continue to give people chances. So there is an opportunity for goodness to exist in the world. That is your job as a human being, okay? And if you are a follower of Christ, that is your job, to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And you would want somebody to give you an opportunity, right? So in turn, we have to give others opportunity. If we don't do that, then why should we deserve opportunity? Just like they say little things like, if you want forgiveness from the Father, you must forgive people, right? So he who does not forgive shall not be forgiven. These things are like, okay, treat others the way you want to be treated. I mean, it makes perfect sense. All right. Now, unfortunately, we have a lot of shit going on. Very disappointing right now. You know, things should be different. I don't know why I'm having this freaking financial battle with StreamYard, dude. It's crazy. Like, this could have been a really, like, you know, the clips, all this different shit. StreamYard could be really awesome. It really could. But like I said, they're just trying to be so expensive right now. It's annoying as fuck. All right. I'm probably going to end up paying because StreamYard is the most, I'm not going to lie, it's the easiest one to use out of all of them. All right. I've been looking around and shit. I'm going to get back to OBS probably, but shit. This is tough. But I do got some things lined up here. There was just so much going on this weekend, man. There's so much going on with the wars and the blah, blah, blah. And dude, if you didn't see Candace Owens with the Hunter Biden interview, woo, bruh, that shit hit different. Okay. Look, I won't lie, that shit hit different. I was like, Candace, really? Hunter Biden? You agreed to this, nigga? Oh, shit. And when I watched that interview, I actually realized that, you know what, bro? These people are regular motherfuckers. Like, the people in the office, they're just regular people. They're regular people. All right? There's nothing special about them except they were in the right place at the right time, or they sucked the right dick and kissed the right ass. You see what I'm saying? That's it. They knew the right person. That's it. There's no way we voted all these shitty motherfuckers into office. No fucking way. What's an electoral college, right? These motherfuckers, they get together and they count up all of our votes, right? And then they say, you know what? We represent this people, we represent these people, and this is the popular vote. That means the population voted for this guy. All right? Well, let's go ahead and see how we feel about it. Okay, we'll take their vote into consideration if the numbers help us with whoever we want to put in office. This is the fucked up part. We can't count the votes ourselves as the people. It's not like they have it on a huge screen. Even though they have screens downtown, big ass screens, it's not like they're counting up all the votes in front of us. You know what I'm saying? It's not like when you go to vote, it's on this big ass screen, like, beep, new vote in for this person. Dude, voting could be so futuristic. It could be so interactive. Like, it could be so easily documented. So, why haven't we done it? Fucking crazy. Don't know. Why? Sure. They're trying to do this SAVE Act, right? Sure. Yeah. Let's monitor this stuff. But what kind of voting? How are they going to monitor it? Are they, oh, wait, voter ID. Awesome, cool. But what does that even mean? That means you have to qualify for this ID in order to vote? Or is it just something you sign up for and you prove your citizenship and then boom, you get it? How easy is it going to be to get one? It has nothing to do with whether you're smart or not. It has nothing to do with your color, your culture, nothing like that. This is simple. 2 + 2 = 4. Okay? And, okay, let's count it up. You go in, you show them your ID, birth certificate, right? You got a state ID. You can't get that without a birth certificate and a social security card, right? And a piece of mail. You usually need all those 3 things to do that. So if you have an ID, by default, that should count, right? Oh, wait. Would a passport count? Yeah, it takes a little bit more to get a passport, doesn't it? Okay. So what wouldn't count as identification? A green card. That shouldn't count. Why? Because that's not an American credential. That's a foreign credential for you to be in America for a borrowed amount of time because you're not American. So now we're drawing the line here. that you have to be a full-fledged American citizen to actually qualify? But is that in the writing? Or are they trying to call it persons that? No, it needs to be American citizen qualified and or permanent green card holder if you want to go there. Permanent green card holder. Whatever. However you want to do it. Okay? But we have to make sure the wording is logical. All right? Now, here's the thing about regular people. We've been listening to this mainstream bullshit for so long. Regular people don't even know logic anymore. What? What do you mean? We know what's logical. No, the fuck you don't. Like, man, half the people in this whole world trip over their feet walking forward. And logically, one foot goes in front of the other, so why are you tripping over the foot? It don't make no sense. That's because there's no logic. Everybody wants to pretend like they know what being rational is. Being rational has everything to do with common sense. If you don't know what common sense is, that's like the things that everybody knows to be true already. Okay? If you're a liberal, or if you're on the left, or if you're a Democrat of some sort, that's really strong about this, like these transitional values and these abortions and gays and shit. If you're really on that side, you don't know what ration is. You don't know what rational is. And then you're failing at logic, because if everybody's gay and gets abortions, people as a species dies. There's no logic behind that. And there's no rational reason for that shit to happen. And that's the truth. Oh, wait, I'm gonna get cut off for this. Fuck it. It is what it is, man. Okay, all I can do is be real. I can't not be real, okay? Look. All these fake kids and all these fake people were born after 1999, all right? Real shit. Look it up. Maybe even before 2000, okay? I'll give anybody born in the 90s, I'll give you a pass. If you were born before 2000, I'll give you a pass. If you were born after 2000, you have a lot of shit to learn. You guys were born into the worst situational transitional period ever, because we're transitioning from a nation that had fought for equality to a nation that is getting overran by inequality, because we fought for equality so everybody could be treated equal, and then all of a sudden around 2000, boom, there was a shift. It was a shift because Y2K. A lot of people don't even fucking know what that is. Dude, Terminator, the system, the first fucking singularity, right? With AI, that's what that shit was all about. And the computers and technology were combining, and it was gonna actually take over the whole globe. And guess what happened? That shit did happen. And now AI is in, last 25 years, AI is in every fucking thing. Okay, it started with algorithms, right? They were practicing through things like Google. These were all trials. And this is the part a lot of people don't understand. Elon Musk came up off of PayPal. That was one of the trials. PayPal being an automatic pay system, the blah, 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 to connect your yada, yada, and all these other things. This was, and the payments and shit, all that shit gets automated after a certain point, and there's different triggers. They were practicing this shit. And when the PayPal system blew up, Elon Musk sold it, got the money, and started investing and doing different things. See, and this is what I'm talking about. It only takes $1 million for you to be a regular person, never have to go to work again. When I say this, because the reoccurring investments, if you put that shit where it's supposed to be, and right now is the easiest time to invest. You got Robinhood, you got Cash App, you got all these different, dude, all the way to Coinbase and whatever in the fuck. There's so many of these things, Webull, Acorns, fucking whatever, dude. So much of this shit out there. There's no reason for you not to be able to invest at this point. I trust Robinhood. I fuck with them. They double as a bank. I trust Cash App. I fuck with them. They double as a bank. And then the thing is, these two apps, so much money runs through them. Just so much money runs through them that they can't go broke right now. And if Cash App starts teaming up, I know they have like Sutton. I think there's Sutton or some shit, Sutton Bank, something like that. Or is that fucking Robinhood. Either way, what? Okay, so either way, they both have their own fucking banks they fuck with. So here's the cool part. In your Cash App, not only can you get the direct deposit, right? You can get returns on the money you have sitting in that account if you set your shit up. All right, you change your shit over to business account, right? What happens is when you get money to your Cash App, they'll take a tax out and send it to the government automatically, and you can claim that shit on your taxes. Real shit. All right, this is how they make their money. At the same time, it's a business tax, and they take that shit out. Just be mindful, okay, of the different situations you could put yourself in. Because you can be successful just from one simple investment. I mean, when Doge, bro, all you needed was like $2,000, bro. And you would have been a millionaire when Doge first fucking rolled out. Real shit. I was a thousandaire at that point. That's when I got my first, like, 10+ thousand. Because, I didn't put as much into it as I was going to. There was a whole point where you had to verify your address, right? And my verification wouldn't go through, and then that shit blew up, and I fucking missed the mark. But as it was going up, my shit finally verified, and I threw in my $4,000 or whatever, and then boom, it went up. But I caught the tail end of it. I only made, a couple, 10,000 plus. I only made a couple. And I would have been on that millionaire track if I had got in literally 2-3 weeks before. Like when it was oh man, I was so close. But now there are so many opportunities, not only with crypto, and the only way for us to actually make crypto go is if we actually use it with each other. Like instead of going to the pawn shop, you know what I'm saying? Hit up Craigslist and see if you could pay in crypto to that person. You know what I'm saying? We need to eBay. All these different ways we were selling shit to each other, drip shop or drop shipping, shit like that. Take the crypto, like take it as a currency payment and utilize it, and then it'll literally go up. It'll go up. That's how it works. It's money. The more people use the dollar, the stronger the dollar is, right? See? It's the same principle. But if you don't know money, you're controlled by money. All right? Now with me, I won't lie, I'm still a slave to the dollar bill at this moment. I'm working my way out of it. Hopefully by the end of next year, I'm a millionaire. I have a solid plan, working on it. And then there's some shit I'm waiting for to happen because I'm in the middle of some shit. Once I got my first $1 million, I'm actually gonna do this shit I said, and I'm gonna show you guys how it actually worked for me. And then all you gotta do is just buy your time, take your time. People have things like 401ks, right? And you've been using that for 5 years, blah, blah, blah. Or you've been putting into it for 15, 20 years. Take that shit out and go to do your Robinhood shit. Read everything, learn that shit on the side, on the weekend when you off work. To put everything else out the way. No bitches, no partying, you know what I'm saying? You can smoke a little weed, whatever shit, make time go by. But study that shit. Watch the videos on YouTube. Read about the different companies that are on there. When you look at a stock, read the company, look at the history of the company. It'll tell you sometimes that they're owned by other companies and shit. You see what I'm saying? And then if you research and it looks like it's a good stock, you gotta learn the lingo. See, the thing is, like, it's like any other video game, okay? It's like any other class that you ever took. It's like any other job that you ever had to train for. Dude, fucking do the training. Read the shit. Stop being lazy. That's the problem. Sloth is eating America up. Sloth be on my ass. I ain't gonna lie. Shit. I ain't lazy, but shit. I don't be, look, once I'm done with the shit I need to do, I don't want to fuck around no more, bro. I'm cool. We need to fuck along, right? right? But still, like, we gotta take this shit into account. Everything we do, something else happens. Okay, when you make a choice to say, okay, I'm gonna jump in the air right now. When you jump in the air, something happens. something happens, a lot of people could be affected. If you a fine girl and you wearing the tightest shit, you jump in the air, your shit jiggle, and somebody walking by see that, crash. Oh shit! All because you jumped in the air. I know the world is wild like that. Everything we do ripples out. The shit I'm saying right now will ripple out. If one person online clicks on one of my shorts or clicks on this long video and watches it, takes anything I'm saying, vibes with it, they'll fucking go out there in the world and start seeing shit like, whoa, wait a minute, that nigga right, hold on. And then they're gonna start the conversation. Now other people are being aware. It starts with one. Plant a seed. This is my seed. I'm not being negative. I don't hate anybody. The world is definitely not up to par for me. The world in general is fucking way below par. It's like a quadruple bogey, man. Like, yeah, I'm talking golf talk. You feel me? A lot of people don't even understand, but the rich people know what I mean, right? These motherfuckers on some bullshit. It's some bullshit. And y'all feeding it to them. It's cool though. It's cool though. Look, I ain't falling for the bullshit. I might be a smoker and a slight degenerate from my past, you know. But everybody grows. Everybody changes. As you get older, you start to realize, damn, I'm actually conservative. Damn. I'm trying to conserve this weed, that's for sure. And then now you see a lot of Republican conservatives, they trying to conserve the weed too. This is big business right here. Matter of fact, I started thinking about all the jobs and shit. I said, you know what? If AI takes everything over, the weed industry is gonna boom. You know why? Because that's the only job that's gonna be there. And the weed don't, like, everybody wanna smoke. Half the time, the shop don't have, they running out of weed. You feel me? There's not enough weed to go around. The farm is gonna blow up. Marijuana gonna blow up. It's gonna be the only job left. And it's gonna be crazy because everybody working out of the dispensary and everybody smoking and making content. That's really it. That's all that's left. Because when there ain't no jobs, right? But marijuana's still there. It's still a job. The drugs are still there. It's still a job. People ain't gonna be going to work. They're gonna be trying to get high. Real shit. It's crazy. What's they're gonna be left to life if you're not working, right? If you're not trying to build connections, family, community, culture, what? Religion? Just sitting around watching YouTube or just sitting around playing video games. Oh, Ready Player One, that's a thing. That's coming. That shit is coming. And you know, if you ever seen the movie Ready Player One, then you know that they were making money playing that damn game, which is why everybody would go berserk when they die. Because when you die, you lose all your shit. Everything. You gotta start from scratch with nothing. That's fucked up. That's a constant grind, my nigga. That, bruh. Man, I'll log out real quick before I die. Turn that shit off. Sorry, disconnected. Yeah, it didn't register that shit. Ah, shit. I'm not losing my shit. And that's why crypto, and that was the cryptocurrency, but they were using it as actual money throughout real life. And which is crazy too, because dude, he won that first little egg, right? From the example, he cracked the egg or whatever, and he got 100,000 coins, and dude was spinning the coins, and then he actually bought real life shit that got sent to him, right? And just to imagine that, to actually be able to like win your gold in a game, right? There's so many people that are just billions and millions of gold in all these different games. If you can use that for real life, bruh, do you know how many billionaires and trillionaires are in the gaming community? Bruh, like everybody got racks. I got characters that got stacks. If we could use that in real life, bruh, do you know how the society would just instantly boom? That's why it's up to the gamers to really take this shit to the next level. And then there's different things like, well, you got Super Smash Brothers. You can make money on that. You can make money on Rocket League. You can make real money on Madden and 2K basketball and shit. You can make money in FIFA. These tournaments, you can make real cash. And you don't think that's a job? Why do you think all these dudes are gaming? They're battling each other for these prize packages. Some of them, you know, you get top 100, you get 5K, whatever, boom. And that'll keep you going for a month. So you can get back into the game and reinvest, get better shit, get a better internet, blah, 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 whatever. See what I'm saying? Like, this is a money hustle for a lot of people. Video gaming. That's why I believe, and I know from logic and rational thinking down the line, the more AI booms, the more bots boom, the more the more digital space increases with the meta world, and they're actually selling property and doing like, for real, that shit's getting big. When there's nothing left here, everybody's gonna have to go there because you can make money there. All the people are gonna be there. The VR goggles and the glasses and shit. Oh, this shit's gonna be crazy. If you have not seen Ready Player One, you need to go check that shit out. They took it off Netflix. Woo! Man, should have done that. Very, very good game. When I say good game, because it was a game, and it showed you how the world is a game, how life is a fucking video game, and we're connected to this shit. We're PvP or player to player all the time. Right now, this is what, player versus environment that I'm doing, because I'm recording, or I'm live right now, and it's going out into the environment. I'm not really going against anybody, you know what I mean? But this is that player to player interaction. Just like if you were texting your homie on the fucking PC or on your phone. These are just different ways. These are people in your friends list. Anybody you got their number? Just like a game, it's just friends list. And you could hit them up. Hey, bro, meet me up. We could do a fucking a quest. Hanging out at the bar. You know you got different things. Okay, we're going to play this mini game. Okay, now you're shooting darts. Now you're popping pool. You know, there's different games where you can hang out. Now you're over there on the dance floor. You're doing your little dances with each other and shit. Games are becoming more and more like real life. Whoa. What does that mean? That means life is a game. Why? And if you start treating yourself as a character, strength, speed, intellect, right? Charisma, guile, stealth. And guess what? Your health, constitution. If you focus on those things, I know for a fact, your character's gonna get better. There's no way you can't get better. These are things that are just so plain and so true that we can't get away from the logic. And then when the logic is rational, now we have to act on it. That's how we get accountability. That's how we get responsibility. A lot of people are running from responsibility and accountability by having their own truth. My truth? Fuck your truth. What is truth, right? Quote, famous Pontius Pilate. Okay, he washed his hands of Jesus' blood. He said, there ain't nothing wrong with him. He ain't doing nothing wrong. Y'all tripping. And yo, give us Barabbas. Take him anyway. Like, what? Hey, bro, that's on y'all. I'm cool. Nah, I ain't doing it. See what I'm saying? It's like that. People are trying to pass the buck. They want something evil to happen, but they don't want to take responsibility for the evil that happened. All right? And that's what this whole thing is about. This left and this right and this Democrat and this Republican and the. They're both a part of the same system, my G. Okay? Just like football. Just like basketball. Just like a movie. Just like a video game. You're a part of the same system. And there is a goal for the game. Okay? There's a lore for the game. There is objectives within the game. There's a purpose for the game. And in every game, you get to choose if you're going to be good or evil. That's the truth. Welcome to life, y'all. Welcome to the most high-tech, immersive reality you could ever be in. Everything is made of light, and all of the matter in the universe could fit into a sugar cube. Okay, so you could say that sugar cube, all those, if you spread it out, boom, you can say that that's the pixels. You know how you have your TV and it has a million pixels or whatever pixels and all these little fucking dots? Just, that's the fucking light. All right, that's the generator. Like, I don't even know what the fuck those things are called right now. I'm gonna have to look those up for sure. Because if you look at a blank screen, your black TV, it looks like what? A black void, a big old empty, endless black space, because you can't see the back of it. Naturally, we know there's a back of it because we're outside of it and we built it. And that's how God feels about us. Whoa, as above, so below. We're created in his image. Oh, so everything does connect. And then I just proved it with science. So that means Jesus is real. Let's go back to Spy Kids. Okay, the one with the game and the floops and all these little weirdos, and they were in the video game. No, wait, I think that was the other one. Or was it? No, yeah, I think it was the one after that with the video game and the guy. The guy, right? And then the guy died, right? And then Junie had to step up and do the thing, and then the guy came back at the end. Now, Jesus is the guy to the game. Why? Everybody in the game was trying to either get the guy, be the guy, fight the guy, or whatever, something with the guy. It was all about the guy, right? Now you look at Jesus being the guy, you can see how the bad guys are gonna try to get you, okay? And the good guys are gonna try to work with you. So there's a point to the game. You're either good or you're evil. All right, the fruits of your labor, that's what a lot of people aren't seeing. Like, look at your life. Look at where you're at. Look at the people you have around yourself. Look at the situation you're in. Really take a deep dive into you. How did you get there? What did you go through? Who did you affect along the way? How much of an asshole have you been? Think about all the people that didn't deserve it. You was just having a bad day. You fucked their day up. What about that? See what I'm saying? Accountability. And once you take accountability, now you're responsible. Yep. I know. Nobody wants to hear it. It's the truth. I'm sorry. It is the truth. Damn, man. StreamYard's pissing me off because I know I'm gonna have to fucking pay for this shit. This episode's too good. I'm gonna have to clip this shit. Damn you, StreamYard. I don't want to give you $100 every month. StreamYard's funny. I might just cut the losses and do the year. So that way it's like half the fucking price. And just give them $500-600 right now. I really don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. But it might be beneficial in the long run. It might help the show. You know, I mean, I do have to invest. You know, so it's just like, you know, fuck. It's a lot of work, man. Especially doing this shit by yourself. It's a lot of work. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, podcasters out there everywhere, shout out to y'all. Some people are lazy about it. I'll give them that. And then some people are real good about it. But this is a pretty tough gig, trying to, at least, you know, paying for the production and shit. Now, it used to be super easy and super cheap. Now it's just like, you know, fuck. Anyways, we'll get back to the main subject. And the main subject is perspective right now. We'll do some updates in just a few moments, and then we'll do some world news. But right now, I just want to get this perspective down because there's going to be more perspective coming with the news updates. Maybe I should just do those right now, just perspective along the way, right? Let's make it fun. So, damn, life is life in today, boy. All right, we had a lot of shit. That happened today. Just a lot of shit was popping up on my my recommended. I was looking through the YouTube, just flipping through. Man, there's a lot of controversy, a lot of conversations out there. But I do want to touch on something. This is going to be a lot of people ain't gonna like this, but we're gonna have to go here eventually. I just been trying to pick a good day, and since StreamYard's being a biscuit, I'll probably just do this one. I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to do the trans gay thing right now. I don't know, bro. That's big, bro. I don't know. Atheist versus Christian. That'd be interesting. I don't know, man. I think we should do guns. Pro guns. Gun reform. I don't know. What do you think? Shit. All right, let me go up to the top real quick. We'll do this one. I think this will be good. We'll just do a little update. We'll just do a little update. Alright. So this is the one we're gonna cut. We're gonna cut this one. It should be interesting. This just happened. Alright, this shit just happened a day ago. Alright, so yesterday. This is the U.S. Secretary Stark's warning. No more free riders in the Pacific. And there's going to be a defense boost. Oh, shit. Oh, they're getting ready for war over there with Taiwan. That's what this shit's talking about. I mean, they're probably going to indirectly talk about it. But I think that's what that's all about. We're going to go ahead and...
Well, Doctor, thank you very much. Good morning. It's great to be back in Singapore and at the Shangri-La Dialogue to speak about the future of this vital Pacific region. It's not a future based on wishful thinking or utopian idealism, but a future that will be defined by our collective efforts to safeguard and secure our most vital national interests.
All right. It's very important that we pay attention to Homeboy's words, because he's talking about our vital national interest. Do you understand our chips? 90% of them come from where? Where do they come from? Do you know? Taiwan. Oh shit. A lot of our electronics is coming from there. And made in Taiwan is a thing. You can check a couple of your shirts. So don't sleep. Because right now it's time to be awake. And I'm not talking about woke. I'm talking about awake. Woke is the new feminism. If they took it over. They're trying to call woke feminism, and it's not the same. We covered that on our other episodes. Y'all gotta go back and watch that. It was crazy. Alright, let's see. Right now, I think we have enough clips that are out there floating around. So, you know, check them out, check the shorts out. Make sure you're checking out the other episodes. I try to keep them short enough to where it's like a movie, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours tops. Some of them from way back, they were long because we had conversations, things like that. But I'm not sure if I'm doing any more of the interview stuff for a while. And if I do the interview things, I'm gonna make sure I redo all of this shit. All the studio is gonna get entirely redone. There's just a lot of shit I want to do that's just different, and I have to just keep investing, keep waiting for this turnaround, keep reinvesting, keep getting more turnover, and then, you know, just keep going to work. And if I keep working right now, I should be good. I should be good for a while. You know, bills never stop until they do. Remember that shit. One day you don't gotta pay bills no more, and then you don't have to worry about none of the stress of this whole world. A lot of people do that retirement, 401k and all that stuff, but if you're not gonna use that stuff right now, especially if you have a stack in there, and try to reinvest to bring more income so you could reinvest on top of that income, you're wasting your life. Because by the time that turns into $200,000, $200,000 a year is going to be the average pay. Because there's not very many people that have jobs. Real shit. And if you have a job, you're making bread. That's going to be the only two options left. Here shortly, everything is going to change. A lot of people don't even understand the change that's coming. But perspective, let's go.
Under the leadership of President Trump, who has over the past year shown repeatedly what it means to defend American national interests, from Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela to Midnight Hammer to cartel drug boats to Epic Fury, we have restored a proactive and realistic approach to our own national defense, reestablishing deterrence. Now, when I was in the United States Army as a young lieutenant, the motto of my first rifle platoon was, "Those who long for peace must prepare for war." It's a simple truth that makes as much sense tactically as it does strategically. But today I want to lay out what this return to realism means for the most consequential region in the world, the Pacific.
Tell Monday what you need. We're creating an agent and naming him Tony. Now let's give him context.
My bad, guys. They hit us with a commercial.
And as the 2026 U.S. National Defense Strategy makes clear, we're charting a new course for our alliances and partnerships, one that is grounded in the realities of power and interests. It is a course that will leave America stronger, our allies and partners more capable, and the Pacific region more stable and secure.
All right. So he's fluffing us up right now because he's not saying exactly what's happening, but he's giving us just enough information to intrigue our minds. This is the wordplay, because we're supposed to be bolstering our allies in the Pacific. What allies do we have in the Pacific? Think about that.
The foundation of this new approach is moving away from a model of dependency and toward one of true partnership, embracing a perspective that our partners in Asia have understood for decades. Now,
Asia. Now they're getting very specific. Okay, I'm telling you, this is definitely about Taiwan. This is definitely about China. Remember when the Japanese president, she came through and she was having that meeting with Trump. This right here, this is going to connect all of that.
Perhaps because of distance, or perhaps because of the hard-learned lessons of history, the default Asian lens on America has been clearer and far more pragmatic than in other regions. Our partners in Asia have long understood that the bedrock of a durable partnership is not based on idealistic values, but on the concrete alignment of national interests. There is undeniable strength in this clarity, and it's what makes our Pacific allies and partners such reliable counterweights in the face of regional threats. When our interests align, we act together with focused resolve. When our interests diverge, we adjust pragmatically, without the drama or the moralizing. I think Western Europe might take note. This is a mindset we fully embrace. The era of the United States subsidizing the defense of wealthy nations is over. We need partners, not protectorates. We seek alliances built on shared responsibility, not dependency. This is the maturation of our alliances in a new era. It's a vision that puts our alliances on a sustainable footing, ensuring they are fit for the challenges of this century, not the last. This shift is not a matter of choice. It is a matter of strategic prudence. The National Defense Strategy makes clear that the old toothless, utopian, and globalist course of foreign policy was headed for a disaster. That all changes under President Trump. Our approach is one of flexible, practical realism that looks at the world with a clear-eyed perspective that is essential for serving vital interests. And nowhere is this clarity more important than the...
All right, so he's basically still giving us the build-up, trying to softly tell us who we're going to be helping and all these different things like that. It's really soft. But we're going to have to start making some names, because this right here is going to be huge. Just wait.
Pacific. This region has profound implications for U.S. security and prosperity. It's the world's largest and most dynamic market area. It's why our National Defense Strategy directs the Department of War to set the military conditions required to achieve a lasting and favorable balance of power in the Pacific region. When we look across the region today, there is rightful alarm regarding China's historic military buildup and the expansion of its military activities in the region and beyond. We share a clear-eyed assessment of that security environment and a mutual understanding that a Pacific dominated by any hegemon would unravel the regional balance of power and undermine the equilibrium we all seek to preserve. The Department of War is working with the utmost focus to prevent any such unraveling. We do not approach this challenge with needless confrontation, but with a posture of measured and deliberate strength. Our focus is strong, quiet, and clear. Strong, quiet, clear. Clear about our intentions, our priorities, and our ability to deliver on the administration's goals. This is a model our Asian partners vastly prefer and have long followed. Our allies across Asia do not seek constant escalation, rhetorical theatrics, or a region defined by public confrontation. What they want and what the United States delivers is strength that is disciplined, resolve that is steady, and leadership that is confident enough to speak and walk softly while carrying a big stick.
All right, so I'm feeling like he's making this huge speech because it's about to go down.
What we seek and what the president has constantly articulated is a genuinely stable equilibrium that works for Americans as well as our allies, a favorable but durable balance of power in which no state, including China, can impose its hegemony and hold the security or prosperity of our nation and our allies in question. The United States seeks to preserve the conditions that have long underwritten peace and prosperity in this region. We are the power working to sustain equilibrium, not to disrupt it, plain and simple. We defend a status quo that has enabled extraordinary growth and opportunity across the region. Our interests in the Pacific are significant, but they are also scoped and reasonable, defined by a favorable balance of power in which sovereignty is respected, commerce flows freely, and nations retain the freedom to make their own choices. This is the balance America upholds and will not allow others to overturn. Under President Trump's leadership, relations between the United States and China are better than they've been in many years. President Trump and this administration seek a stable peace, fair trade, and respectful relations with China. It's not a coincidence that this has happened. Strong, quiet, but clear is the right recipe for stability.
I run a podcast solo.
Oh, wow. Commercial? That's wild.
Just 2 weeks ago, President Trump and President Xi engaged in direct discussions in Beijing that reinforced this very foundation. I bore witness to their hours of candid conversations. It was truly historic. They agreed that the United States and China should build a constructive relationship of strategic stability based on fairness and reciprocity, reaffirming that while our nations will vigorously protect our respective interests, we can secure practical, mutually beneficial agreements where our interests align. Now, all of that said, my job at the United States Department of War is to provide the military strength to support President Trump's visionary and realistic diplomacy. It's our essential responsibility at the department to ensure that the president is always negotiating from a position of unquestionable strength in order to sustain peace here in the Pacific and around the globe. To ensure our military might preserve stability, we will pair it with a clarity of intent, which is why we are meeting more frequently with our Chinese counterparts. By maintaining open lines of military-to-military communication, we can coordinate, deconflict, and reduce the risk of miscalculation. This dialogue is not a sign of capitulation in either direction, but a practical guardrail, ensuring the relationship our leaders seek at the top is preserved at every level. And while a decent peace is our goal, make no mistake, America is a Pacific nation, and we insist that China respect our longstanding position in the region, and not just insist, but maintain the manifest military strength to underwrite it. Now, to get that job done, we are changing the playbook. The era of performative outrage is over, where Washington issues loud diplomatic protests that signal virtue, but do not project capabilities. Going forward, we will be intentional about how.
All right, this is gonna be a slash call for the military. So anybody that wants a new career, going to the military is going to be your best friend, okay? The military is gonna be one of the only jobs left. Dispensaries, definitely, they're trying to cut that, but they shouldn't. There's a whole discussion about that as well, which is wild.
And when we communicate. And we will lead first and foremost with actions. As I said, strong but quiet. Big stick, speak softly. We will prioritize lethal capabilities, strategic discipline, and business-like cooperation over empty rhetoric and peacocking. Any potential opponent will be forced to judge us by our hard power, collective readiness, and steadfast resolve. As the national security strategy and the national defense strategy direct, our approach in the Pacific centers on deterrence by denial along the first island chain. Now, we are reestablishing the Monroe Doctrine, the Donroe Doctrine, as I like to call it, in the Western Hemisphere, aggressively defending our homeland and our hemisphere. We will protect our people. But if you look at our department's planning guidance and our budget, we're building a team capable of projecting power, a country capable of projecting power anywhere in the world, most especially here. We will build and sustain a strong denial defense in the Western Pacific that ensures aggression is infeasible, escalation unattractive, and war deemed irrational. Our military posture will be resilient, distributed, and optimized to deny quick, decisive gains through military force. This is the logic of strategy. And it's the essence of peace through strength, and the foundation of a durable peace in the Pacific that benefits all of us. We all benefit from such a policy because our quiet but clear strength will lead to stability and peace. But this is not a burden America can or should carry alone. A favorable balance of power requires capable allies with real military strength, real industrial capacity, and real political resolve. For too long, the security of this region has rested disproportionately on American military power, while many of our allies and partners allowed their own defense capabilities to atrophy. That's a bad deal for the American taxpayer, and it's an unsustainable crutch for our allies and partners. Instead, we are all best off when, based on our comparative advantages, we all contribute to the shared goal of peace and stability. This is not a my way or the highway approach. We are ready to work with all of you, where you are, based on your own situation, your own geography, and your own cultural, political, and economic realities, to ensure that a Pacific free of any dominant hegemon is secured. And that's why a core line of effort in our national defense strategy is to increase burden sharing with US allies and partners, and simultaneously empower them to contribute to our collective defense. This is no longer an afterthought. It's an essential ingredient of our strategy. President Trump has been crystal clear about this from day one in his first administration and now in his second. Alliances only work when they are true partnerships. It is a two-way street. You don't have a strong alliance unless everyone has skin in the game. No freeloading. History is not over. Alliances are not judged by the number of flags, but by the number of formations. We don't need more conferences. We need more combat power. I'm sorry to say this here. Less Shangri-La, more ships, more subs. For too long, polite pleas from our European allies to spend more on their own defense fell on deaf ears. They're finally playing catch up, and we let ourselves get distracted by empty globalist rhetoric about the rules-based international order, while European capitals threw open their borders and hollowed out their militaries. You can have all the rules you want, and rules are great, but if you can't back them up with hard power, the rules are not worth the paper they are written on. Europe and NATO have some big decisions to make, and more on that soon. These same principles apply in the Pacific, albeit, of course, in different circumstances. In this region, I'm optimistic that our allies, driven by our shared national interests and the unprecedented threat environment, will step up and step up for real. In fact, we're already seeing progress. If you want to see what burden sharing looks like, consider the Republic of Korea. South Korea has invested consistently in its own defense, not because it does not have the luxury of treating war like an academic exercise. They live on the front lines, and so they build real combat power. President Lee's decision to increase defense spending to the new global standard of 3.5% and to assume greater responsibility for its conventional defense reflects simply a clear-eyed understanding of the threat environment. It won't be easy, but it's necessary for the security and prosperity of his country. This was a hard-nosed decision because they see the world as it actually is. We applaud the pragmatism and leadership demonstrated by Seoul. The region will be far more stable and more secure when other allies and partners follow that path. We see this same realist mindset from the Philippines. Manila is shifting its focus to external defense and enhancing interoperability with US forces. And it's not just talk. Earlier this month, we concluded the largest ever Balikatan, which featured joint training and exercises involving the most advanced US capabilities. The Philippines is also investing more to modernize its military and its Coast Guard, with President Marcos signing a budget this year that includes a 12% increase in defense spending. This spending increase will fund the Philippines' multi-year effort to develop a modern, technologically advanced, and interoperable force that can plug in and fight alongside American warfighters. We're seeing a similar and critical shift in Tokyo. Japan is taking concrete steps to accelerate its defense transformation. Together, we are enhancing our force posture and investing in the right capabilities. We're not at the finish line yet, and there's still some heavy lifting ahead, but the momentum is headed in the right direction. We have high expectations of our Japanese allies, and together we can and must each pull our weight to strengthen the US-Japan alliance. Strong, quiet, clear.
I am not afraid.
My bad, guys. They hit us with these commercials again. So, what we'll do is we'll get some perspective on this situation, because I called it, didn't I? At the same time, it's like, all right, cool. We see which direction this is going. As Americans, like I said, the military is gonna be a thing. And this technology, we already knew lasers and stuff like that. The laser weapons are here. They've been here. Laser rifles are definitely gonna be a thing. The magnetic rifles with these charged cartridges and walking around with charged belts and things like this, that stuff's a thing. It's like all the science fiction that they were talking about, That stuff is really possible. It's crazy how possible it is. Right now, those things are still happening in the background. And when you think about how much it is to build a plane or whatever and all these different things, you start to think about the cost of the materials for real. And when you start to really break down the cost of the materials, they're actually cheaper to make than you think. So the inflationary of this is where these black budgets, because they'll price something $300,000 more expensive so they can have $300,000 in that budget. Okay, so a plank for a spacecraft might be going regularly for 150. So they'll throw another 150 or another 300,000 on that. That's why a spaceship costs 100 million to build. When you're talking about the big pieces, you know what I'm saying? When you're talking about the little pieces, okay, so you have to have special screws, right? The most powerful screws, the best screws from the best steel and the best types of alloys and yada yada. And that screw might cost $6, $7, $8, $9 to make per screw. But then they're gonna sit there and buy the screw for $500 each, or some ridiculous number like that. That's how they inflate the budget. And when they inflate the budget, that's how they get all of the money and they get to siphon it. That's where the black budget comes from. All right. And we're talking about right now the military spending of $1.5 trillion they're going to be doing. And our guy's talking about it right now. You know, I gotta put it back up. This is what we were doing. So it's like this whole black budget is inside. So that 0.5 of the, you know how it's like 1 trillion, that's going to be the actual spending for the main budget, but the black budget is going to be that 0.5. And this is how we can tell, because not every single piece of, not every single dollar is accounted for. And what happens is the budget is there, so that means there's a pot. And then when they decide to do an operation, they take from the pot to pay for whatever they're going to pay for. So whatever's left is still there, right? But what they'll do sometimes is take more than they need out. So if you have $1.5 trillion, think about that's a lot of money. That's 500 billion plus 500 billion plus 500 billion. Okay? That's a lot of money, because you only need a couple of 100 million to do some stuff. Have some real stuff. Like, that's crazy. That it's wild. Like, these numbers are just unfathomable, because if we're looking deeper, how much do you spend as an American, right, on something at the grocery store? Now, a percentage of that is taken, and then a percentage of that is taken. So the government actually gets the other percent. It's look, they make it so complicated to explain, so that way you can't understand. But if you have 10 and then you get taxed 2, that 2 gets cut in half. The government gets 1, and whoever else, the other company, they get 1, right? But that company has to take that 1 and give it to the government. That's why we have to pay the taxes. Sales tax, right? And then there's a tax on top of it. That's why it goes up $2 or $3 if you just want to buy one item. Okay, so they tax your house. This is how they're paying for all of this shit. And we looked it up. I mean, I should share that whole screen, but we looked it up, and the U.S. gets taxed, and the government gets about I don't know, it was like 5 trillion or this is between 4.5 trillion and 5 trillion a year in taxes from all of us and everything included. And that's how much money we like make for the, like, it's including the money that we make, because we make a certain amount of money and the taxes come out of it. It's crazy. We make like 12 trillion a year or some shit. How much money gets made in the taxes is like 5 trillion. It's wild. These numbers, you can check them or whatever, but like I said, it's a lot of money running through this country. There's a lot of money running through this country. And a lot of money's tied up in a lot of different cryptos and tied up in different, what are those things called? NFTs. NFTs went dark, but those things are still, you can move money through NFTs. So they got quiet about it because you can't stop it. It's digital art, and you can sell digital art for whatever. And it gets worth more because when you make an NFT, there's a certain amount that you make, and you can't make any more after that. And that's it. Boom. So that's what makes them so. It's like you can make a one of one, and it can go for a lot of money and get traded back and forth. And whoever has it, literally the amount of money that they bought it for, that's how much money they're worth. Like their net worth goes up, things like that. NFTs are a good way to hide money. That's why it's getting real quiet, and there's so much money, but nobody knows where it is. Nobody knows where it's going. How do you have all these trillions of dollars, but is it going back into the system? Or is that what they're doing? You know, this is something that we have to think about, because all the money's coming from us working, and they're trying to get the AI to do it because they think what's going to happen is they pay less people and they make more money because people are still going to buy. But if nobody has a job, there's nobody to buy that shit. So then there's no reason to make anything. So they already have their money, and now everything is scarce. Now there's a famine and all these other things, and now we're running out of food, and there's too many people because guess what? Nobody can afford to pay these companies, and now the companies aren't producing anymore. And then when they're not producing as much, guess what? The price goes up. So only the people that are rich can even get anything. And that's how they starve us out. So it's gonna get deeper if we don't stop the corporations from trying to force us into this like robots doing everything. Which is why everybody's gonna be working at a dispensary. Weed's gonna get more popular. It's probably the cheapest thing out there, and people are gonna start, hustling that shit if they can, whatever. I think farming is gonna go through the roof because like if everybody's working at the weed shop, everybody's probably gonna be smoking weed. The bars are gonna get popping again. But that's because there's a weed shortage right now. And more people are starting to smoke than ever. So like it's time to break out the dispensaries all over the world. And then now we got income. Now everybody got a job. Trust me, there's gonna be plenty of people buying weed, especially if you're selling it. Remember that. And if everybody's working at a dispensary or one of the different technology rooms, guess what? Marijuana breakthroughs are gonna be forever. All kinds of stuff, man. It's gonna be cool. But yeah, everybody's gonna be potheads and video gamers. Like that's gonna be the only job left. Drug dealers are always gonna be a thing. Real shit. Y'all gotta watch out. It's time to get in. Get your plug. That's why they're trying to shut it down. They'll let you have the good stuff, but no dangerous stuff like fentanyl. We're KO'd that. We're good. Like, the good old is good old, right? Fuck it. Like, slang to slang. But all this new bullshit, leave that alone. We ain't doing all that. All right, we'll see what this guy's got to say real quick. My bad.
Sustained weapons required for a high-end fight. We appreciate Australia's investment in real combat power and the commitment to integrate more deeply with the U.S. Joint Force. Across Southeast Asia, we're seeing our partners step up also. Our hosts, Singapore, consistently punch above its weight by investing heavily in its military and serving as a vital hub for U.S. logistics activities and rotational deployments. Strengthening.
All right, Singapore. So Singapore, remember we were trying to figure out who he's even talking about, because he was talking about our Pacific interest, right? So if we're doing our Pacific interest, then that's going to include Taiwan, because that's our partner out there. Japan, like he already stated, but he didn't mention Taiwan yet. Now we got Singapore, so that means we're gonna go all the way down to Australia. I'm definitely thinking that we're gonna utilize Alaska, because that's one of our forward bases towards Russia right there. It's very close, only like 52 miles apart. It's crazy how close to Russia we are. And I think that's why the US wanted that territory so bad. Not to mention there's oil up there, hella oil, but literally. And I mean, if we started drilling in Alaska, trust me, boom, boom. So this whole market problem is not really a problem. It's the corporations that are not doing it. You got to think about it. The corporations have hard power. Well, I mean, I would say, well, no, not hard power, because that would be like, you know, guns and shit, you know, but more like soft power, where it's like they have the money, the technology, they make everything for us. They control our water, they control our electricity and our internet. They control everything. They control our whole entire, the companies control everything. The store closes, no food for you, buddy. What? Yeah, it's like that. And nobody is realizing it. But let's keep playing in the water. Let's go swimming.
Our shared regional posture. Indonesia, too, is making important strides as it modernizes its armed forces and expands the scale of military exercises with us and our partners, strengthening interoperability and reinforcing regional stability. I also want to recognize Malaysia's leadership in rapidly deploying ASEAN observer teams to monitor the Thai-Cambodia border. That is burden sharing.
Thai-Cambodian border. You see, now he's getting specific. Remember, these guys, I have to make it go faster when he's talking so I can hear what he's saying, because when they talk too slow, I get lost in their words. I can't do all that. They try to hypnotize you. That's why when you listen to these meetings, you got to speed it up. Put it times 1.5 or times 2. And then you'll hear what they're really saying. They talk so slow on purpose to try to bore your ass to death. It's a tactic. Don't fall for this bullshit.
In action. Nations in the region stepping forward to preserve peace, reduce tensions, and support diplomacy with credible capability. I commend Malaysia and ASEAN for their efforts in support of President Trump's
All right, so they're going to give them weapons, and they're going to send some of our troops down there to train with them, and they're going to do heavy recruiting. Watch, the military is going to boom. That's going to be like, they're going to give them a pay raise. You're going to, like, when you come in as a private, you're probably going to be making like 3 G's a month, 4 G's a month now. They're going to start paying the shit out of y'all. So military, hey, I'm not no recruiter, bro, but now is going to be the time. Here coming up is going to be the time. Just wait for it. Your signing bonuses, all that shit, just wait. And then just take all that shit, invest. They're just paying you to work out and eat and practice, ready to do what you got to do, bro. And you know what? Think about it this way. Whatever's in front of you is trying to take you out. And that's the only way I could think about it. I'm not sitting here saying we should go to war. I'm just saying that even here in America, we need to be prepared for it. If you can get it done, get it done. If you got a mental issue, go turn yourself in. Go turn yourself in. It's better this way. If you just go turn yourself in, they'll give you a nice, comfortable life, and you won't have to worry about bills or nothing. You're just, you know. And what we could do is we can revive this mental hospital shit. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do. You know, all those freaking old Victorian mental hospitals, I'm gonna try to go in them bitches and refurbish that shit and make people go back in there. Or no, I might just build some new ones and make them like, you know how the colleges are like dorms and shit, and it's like an open like college. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it like that, where they can still take classes and learn, and it'll be like a community, and all the slow-minded people and crazy motherfuckers can go be there together. Yeah, it'll make plenty of jobs. Security's gonna need to be out there. The people that work the stores that are brave enough to deal with these motherfuckers is gonna be out there. Like, woo! Shit. Hey, it's gonna be a job though. Yeah, look, I put it together. I'll put it together. We're gonna call them, I need to come up with a name for it. Hold on, I'm gonna think about that.
Historic peace deal. On the mainland, Thailand continues to deepen military cooperation with the United States to enhance interoperability and develop necessary readiness. Thailand, a longtime U.S. partner, investing even more. We're also seeing the same seriousness of purpose from Vietnam. Hanoi is diligently modernizing its maritime capabilities while expanding pragmatic defense cooperation with the United States. Vietnam is a great example of how nations with distinct histories and different political systems can work together in practical ways, advancing discrete efforts where our interests align to maintain a stable regional balance. And in South Asia, India is a critical anchor to hold the line. A powerful India acting in its own self-interest advances our shared goal of maintaining a balance of power across the region. India is modernizing its military to carry its share of the security burden, particularly in the Indian Ocean.
Oh, they hit us with another commercial. Dang, they got us. All right, so he's giving us the blueprints to where all this money is going, supposedly. What we're doing is we're going on a defense because we're getting ready for World War III. All right, guys, don't say I didn't warn you. This shit's about to happen for sure.
It's building out the heavy industrial and logistics capacity to sustain high-end military operations, including the ability to repair and maintain our shared platforms and support U.S. Navy vessels operating forward in the theater. We've also committed to pursuing co-production with India to advance capabilities like Javelin anti-tank guided munitions. Real, tangible steps to improve the collective readiness of our forces. This kind of industrial muscle isn't just a long-term goal, it's an immediate operational imperative.
Oh, immediate operational imperative? What could that mean? Well, in layman's terms, World War III is right around the corner. And we need to start shoring up this because we are already in war in two fronts. The third front is coming and it's going to be in Taiwan. And if we don't prep all the areas around it, we won't be able to defend that. And then it's going to cut off our other two fronts because we have to ramp up weapons production, which is why it's going to cost $1.5 trillion. They're aggressively making decisions that are putting American lives at threat. He don't want to say it like that, but I will.
And the United States Department of War is leading the way. America is undergoing a historic national manufacturing mobilization of our defense industrial base. We will produce the best weaponry in the world at scale, at speed, and at a reasonable price. This is my personal commitment to all of you, and it is our president's demand. And it's why President Trump, after spending $1 trillion on defense last year, plans to make a generational investment of $1.5 trillion on defense this year.
All right. Did I nail it, guys? Did I nail it? I should be a politician, huh? I'm going to keep it real with you. Like, hey, yo, it ain't looking good, G. But what we going to do? We going to make it happen. You heard me? Yeah, I'm just playing, y'all. I'm just playing. No, exactly how I said it is how I would have said it. Because this is going down. Y'all don't get it. A lot of people they're not even looking at this message. Hold on, let me see something real quick. I'm gonna look at this real quick. Hold on. I need to see how old is this? Cut that off real quick. How old is this? This is yesterday, and how many? This guy's 200,000 subscribers, right? Only 48K people saw this, right? So I'm looking at I'm looking at the numbers. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I follow. Real shit. Right here, Defense Now. Boom. Endorsed. Now, here, this is what we need to think about. No more free rides? What is this all about? In the Pacific, what is this all about? He mentioned it earlier. Anybody that missed it, he mentioned it earlier that he has talked to these people that are over there, our allies over there, and said, hey, you guys are going to have to spend more on your defense because it's about to go down. When was that in the media? It's in the media right now. Yesterday, they said something. Now, I like this guy because he's making it sound real pretty. And I'm making it real gritty because it's the truth. The truth is not supposed to be, oh, baby steps. No, it's supposed to be, yo, this is what it is, so let's get ready for it. All right. So here we go. We're going to hit it one more time.
To unleash America's arsenal of freedom and expand America's military dominance for decades to come, a generational investment. President Trump is setting the gold standard. We demand 3.5% from our allies and partners, and we are going well beyond that number. We expect every single ally and partner to match that kind of resolve. For those nations that rise to this challenge, that embrace responsibility as true partners, the benefits will be clear. As our strategy states, we will prioritize working with model allies, those nations who are most capable, clear-eyed,
modeled allies. That means people that are actually going to put in some work. People that, and this is the countries, the ones that are gonna, hey, you know what? We're with it because we know this can get bad for us. And Japan, their military, ever since the whole World War II incident, we weren't allowing them to have one. But now we are. Why is that? Because they already know what's up with us. So they're like, all right, let's work with you then. And I respect that enough to say, hey, let's make it happen. And China, when President Trump went there, did they tell us a lot about what happened there? No, not really. They didn't say much. It was real quiet. They took some pictures. Hey, howdy, he's over there. Hey, da da da. We want to make this work out. And China was like, yeah, we want to make this work out in our best interest. Okay, so if it's not in China's best interest, and they can't see eye to eye with Taiwan, and he definitely said something about it. He was like, yo, historically, Taiwan is us. And where our goal is to unify. And that's it. So I think that's what it is, period. That's that. So now what? Here we go.
And ready to defend their national interests. For those nations, we are moving them to the front of the line. Expedited arms sales, deep industrial base collaboration, expanded intelligence sharing. The list goes on, the benefits, many. But for those who believe they can continue to free ride on the generosity of the American taxpayer, hear us now. Those days are over. Allies who refuse to step up and carry their own weight for our collective defense will face a clear shift in how we do business. President Trump believes in helping countries that help themselves. And the United States Department of War feels the exact same way. That is the nature of burden sharing. It's what we owe each other, and most importantly, what I owe the American people and my troops, the most precious asset we have.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it.
Oh, wow. It's cool.
The world today is unforgiving. And that's why this bold path is a matter of strategic necessity. We have a responsibility to our people to shape the world that comes next. And under President Trump's leadership, that is exactly what the United States of America is doing. The U.S. War Department is advancing an America first, peace through strength, common sense agenda. We are reviving our warrior ethos inside our ranks. We are rebuilding our great military, and we are reestablishing the deterrence that was so dangerously allowed to erode under the Biden administration. Under President Trump, we have the most powerful and capable military in the history of the world. But our approach is not one of isolation. America first does not mean America alone, but it means realist engagement with a clear eye toward defending our most vital national interests. It's an approach that values actions over words and sees alliances as true partnerships, measured by the sovereign strength and capabilities brought to bear by each member. Practical, interest-driven models of partnership is not a cynical compromise, but instead the most realistic and reliable foundation for enduring peace in the Pacific. Our approach asks Pacific nations to do what many are already eager to do: invest seriously in their own defense, contribute more to collective security, and work with the United States in pragmatic.
Didn't I just say that? It's so funny. Oh man, he's just like, what he's doing is he's trying to make it sound good, because he's not trying to incite panic in anybody. I'm not trying to incite panic with anybody. I just want everybody to hear it straight up. All right. So it didn't go well with China. China's going to probably move forward with the Taiwan situation. And if we don't get ahead of it, which is what all this is about, then it's going to be bad for everybody. And those people already know it over there on that side. So we got some money together, and we're going to figure out if we can make this happen. Because if China takes Taiwan, we're toast. Until we figure out how to bring it back to America and have American making chips and stuff. This is where we're at. And I think they're going to have some defense money from this, and I hope they do, where they're going to make American factories that do this and employ American workers. I hope that's what they do. This will probably be in their best benefit. But we'll see what happens.
Ways that advance our shared interests. If there was a thesis statement for my remarks this morning, it would be this. Join us in embracing this vision, in building a team of strong, self-reliant nations fully capable of defending their own sovereignty while contributing to our collective security, in preserving the favorable balance of power that benefits all of us. Strong, quiet, clear. I've said this before, but it bears repeating again and again. Those who long for peace must prepare for war. From my first platoon to the first island chain. Let that remain at the forefront of our minds because we all long for peace. That time is now. The challenges we face are real, but so is the opportunity before us. We must meet that moment. And may Almighty God bless all of our troops in harm's way. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, so there's still more, but I think I summed it up pretty good. I hope everybody has the understanding that things with China did not go very well, and that is something that we are trying to prepare for right now. That's what this whole meeting is about. United States strategy for peace into Indo-Pacific, right? So this right here is them trying to bring the world together. I think these are United Nations countries. I'm gonna have to look those up. I know Japan is one for sure. And I think Australia is gonna be involved in this situation. But you remember, Australia is owned halfway by China and it used to be a prison state. So that's something that we have to consider. If their loyalties are gonna be to the movement or if they are gonna be controlled by Chinese interests and try to form an alliance against us. So that may be a conversation that happens in the future. So keep your eyes open for that and keep your eyes open for Greenland. Very hush hush. But I think if Trump is good at making deals, he made a Greenland deal, and there's going to be some things happening up there, which is why Russia is pushing. You know, we were looking up the Ukraine stuff, and Russia was pushing towards bombing the city Crimea, just blowing the whole thing up. Literally, and they told all the foreign nationals to get out. And told all of them people to get out because they're about to like waste the whole city. Like they're just gonna boom. They even threatened a nuclear bomb on their assets. So I hope everybody got up out of there. We'll get more into that later, but this is crazy right here.
Secretary Hexer, thank you so much for your remarks and a great clarity of your message. And if you allow me one comment, we are the Shangri-La wish ships, searching for wisdom, but with a very clear sense that one needs to invest in combat power and capability, as you so eloquently underlined. We've got about 30 minutes for conversation now, and we'll collect a few questions. But I see actually that the Minister of Japan, Koizumi-san, would like to intervene. So I might turn to him first, actually, and get him to make his comment. Your microphone is live now, Minister.
Thank you very much, Pete, Secretary Hexeth. Thank you for your remarks and very powerful speech, which was strong, not quiet, and clear. I appreciate having in close communication with you. I safely feel the unwavering commitment by the U.S., but sometimes I feel some countries might underestimate the U.S. commitment. Can you give us the message to Russia, the region? And also, when tensions occur between allies and like-minded states, even tensions are slight, there will be someone attempting to do.
If you guys didn't catch that in the beginning, when he was talking about the speech, he said, yeah, you're basically, you sugarcoated the shit out of that. Yeah, that was nice though. Remember that, even this guy knows it. Very indirect about all of it. I don't know how, everybody's seeing how slick it was. Ha ha ha, but this is where it gets real.
Rival wedge between us. I feel the U.S. commitment is unwavering, which might be underestimated by some countries, but you are here with us today. That speaks a strong message. Japan has recently revised its policy on the transfer of defense equipment and technology. I have been advancing defense equipment cooperation with Australia, the Philippines, and New Zealand, and Indonesia too. We are making those efforts to establish resilient supply chain so the countries in the region can help each other in case of crisis. I believe this.
Okay, so this is an investment opportunity, and he's pitching it.
This initiative is aligned with the arsenal of freedom. Is my understanding correct? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister Koizumi. Maybe, Mr. Secretary, if that's okay, if I can invite you to respond to the Minister straight away, and then we group a few questions together. Is that okay? Yeah,
absolutely. Well, Minister Koizumi, thank you for the question, for your friendship, for your engagement. I think our countries and our personal engagement is demonstrative of the kind of commitment the United States has to allies and partners. And we appreciate the extent to which you and your government have stepped up. And I think there's sort of two real ways when I look at how the world may view our commitment to this region. First is through our national defense strategy. And we very clearly listed 4 pillars. It was the homeland of the hemisphere, deterring China in the Indo-Pacific, burden sharing, and then supercharging our defense industrial base. Those were the 4. And I think too many people were focused on the fact that number 1 is homeland and hemisphere. For us, that was a reorientation toward a forgotten aspect of our defense strategy. We had a wide open southwest border that allowed 20 million illegals to pour across our borders that the Department of War was focused on securing. We've got a cartel problem of foreign terrorist organizations where we can't just defend at the border, but we need to defend in depth. So we created the America's Counter Cartel Coalition, working with allies and partners in Central and South America to holistically get at the counter cartel challenge. Key terrain like the Panama Canal is something we lost focus on, we're refocused on, and Venezuela has seen a complete change, which creates complications for our adversaries. So staying focused and bringing renewed energy to Southern Command, which had been kind of a sleepy backwater command and now is a warfighting command in our own home and hemisphere, was something we had to do institutionally. But if you look at our defense planning guidance or our national defense strategy, we are funding toward, exercising toward, and planning toward the most difficult problem set, which is power projection into this region and working with our allies and partners. So there's a refocus in what we do in our own neighborhood, but in understanding that a $1.5 trillion investment from cislunar to subsea is what's required in order to deter the next conflict. And then I think the second aspect is that people want to conflate that we have global obligations with turning of our backs to this region. And that's why I've made more trips here than anywhere else and have met and will continue to meet with individual countries and in collective settings like this to demonstrate we are quietly but very strongly working by, with, and through allies based on our mutual commitments to strengthen our capabilities out here. We still have global obligations to ensure that, say, Iran doesn't get a nuclear weapon. We're focused on that. We can do 2 things at one time. We're supercharging our defense industrial base so that we're building 2x, 3x, 4x the munitions very soon to ensure that all of our O plans are properly funded throughout the world. So I think because there's been a lot of talk previously in the US government about pivots that were never real, there's an instinct to want to look at this and say that it is not. And I think it's the exact opposite. Underneath our entire approach is a substantive, serious approach to the Pacific, while also ensuring we maintain our obligations around the world. So thank you for your question.
He is a great talker. This guy, man, he's got it locked in. Wow. So basically he's saying, hey, we're about to get this money right here. Don't worry, we're gonna make sure everybody got guns. We got you. All right, that's something that we're very serious about. Sometimes we're all over the place, but this is something it's about to go down. So we got your back on this for real. For real, for real. That's what he just said.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We'll group a few questions together now. The list is extremely long already, so I'll pull out a few. First in this round, please, from Korea, Dr. Chung-Min Lee. Chung-Min.
Thank you, Bastian. Mr. Secretary, thank you for your positive remarks on the ROK-US alliance. South Korea's defense spending this year increased 8.2%, and we are fully committed to every single matrix you mentioned on a self-reliant defense posture. In this regard, my question to you, sir, is twofold. Number one, President Trump said yes to President Lee's request for American support in building nuclear-powered submarines for the ROK Navy for larger deterrence missions. And number two, wartime OPCON transfer to the ROK within the next couple of years. Could you please enlighten the audience on these two aspects of the strong.
Okay, so before he answers this question, this guy's from South Korea, and North Korea is ramping up their nuclear weapons production because they are still under the impression that the U.S. wants to try to hurt them and stuff like that. But in reality, there is a possible way to broker peace between Korea and the rest of the United Nations. Remember, we put forth a whole World Peace Treaty. We did that way in the back episodes. Check it out if you want to, but we put that together. So this is capable, and a lot of the pieces that are happening right now it wouldn't even be necessary if they took it down this path over here. So we'll keep it right here. He's asking, hey, elaborate on the whole North Korea situation. How are you going to have our backs? Because it's going down over here. Okay.
Stronger U.S. rock alliance. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chung-Min. We'll take one or two more in this round. Next, please, from China, Weibin Zhao. Your microphone is on.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Secretary, I'm Senior Colonel Zhao Weibin from China. You just mentioned in your speech that during President Trump's historic visit to China, the two countries have agreed upon a new definition of China-US relations, which is constructive strategic stability. So, what's the implication of this new definition for US-China military-to-military relations in particular? As a head of the War Department, how would you implement the consensus reached by the two heads of states in real tangible steps rather than peacocking? Yes. So.
All right. Yo, she's like, wait, what you just said? That sounds kind of scary, bruh. I mean, I thought we was cool.
How would Pete bring peace in and war out? Bring cooperation in and confrontation out. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So, how is this gonna benefit the Chinese relationships that, you know, we just agreed upon or whatever we said we were gonna have? This is pretty much what she's asking. And when we're looking at the situation, like, look, we have agreements with you for some stuff, but there's some things we don't see eye to eye on. And we already know that, you know, there's a part that we need to be prepared for just in case y'all decide to switch up randomly. And I hope he explains this.
And we'll take from the United States, Douglas Greenlaw.
Secretary Hegseth, thank you for your principled leadership of the Department of War. Under your leadership, the Pentagon has placed a major emphasis on the key core principles like lethality, reconstruction of the defense industrial base, including accelerating innovation by leveraging private capital and commercial technology. What would you like to see from private capital to help scale these innovations, including internationally, so they can be useful not just to the U.S., but to the defense posture of the Indo-Pacific?
Thank you very much. I see that we have a young leaders group here as well, and I want to get in one other younger voices in the room as well. So if we can please get from Pakistan, Tanzila Khalil, your microphone is on, and then we'll return to the Secretary.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Recently, it was identified by the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, that Pakistan's potential ICBM capability as a future threat for the US. I wanted to seek your comment on how do you assess India's long-range missile capability, particularly in terms of the recent test of Agni 6 ICBM with a range of approximately 12,000 kilometers, which could potentially place some parts of Europe and America within reach. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. So we've got a summary of the themes there as well. So, Mr. Secretary, can I invite you to weave your way through these various comments?
I can't weave as well as my boss can.
All right, so here's one of the things about this situation. All right.
Look, baby, I found a case of canned goods. We have food.
Doesn't know.
What are you doing? Why with a level 5 noob? What do you even see in him?
Oh, save it, loser. Canned food? What a joke.
Canned food, please.
He doesn't know how to position this bombardment of questions. The first one was the one from China. I think that one hit different. The second question was that one was hard to keep up with. I don't remember that one, but that last one, her with the India long-range missiles putting Europe in within range. How you feel about that? And I mean, look, it's like, look at his face. Look at him, like, wait a minute. Hold up, what do you mean? I mean, you know, as you know, if you ask Trump that, you know what I'm saying? That's a different kind of situation. He's definitely gonna have something to say. But that second question, I didn't hear that one because the first one was still stuck on my mind. But that last one, woo! It was like, yo, how do we feel about India having long-range missile capabilities? I think that's a question you gotta ask Europe. But I think, you know, if everybody's working together on this, that it's possible, you know, through peace and working together, that, you know, we don't have to utilize these kinds of equipment. But I don't know how you're gonna weave out of this one. And for China, you know, woo, we got some explaining to do. Oh, my bad. Hold up. That commercial fucked us up a little bit.
Not possible. First on Korea, I see General Brunson is here, our commander, who does a phenomenal job there, ensuring that partnership is realized and deepened every single day. And I think it really does exemplify the kind of partnership. And that's why I led with the remarks about what South Korea has done. I was there when the president talked about nuclear power submarines. I think it's an important capability. I think we're looking for allies willing to expand subsea capabilities that produce real dilemmas. And I think that's what we recognize is that our undersea warfare capabilities is substantially unmatched, and creates a lot of strategic dilemmas for potential adversaries wondering where we are and what our capabilities may be. Allies and partners seeking similar capabilities in their own defense and in regional stability makes a lot of sense to us. So I think when you're working with and talking to President Trump, someone who's willing to think outside the box and shake up sort of a stale view of what may or may not be possible, expand the Overton window, asks like that are important. And I think you'll see an acceleration in our willingness to come alongside countries that want to run quickly. Now, there's challenges, and how we get past them will require collaboration, but we're very much committed to that. And then as far as wartime OPCON transfer, the general and I have spent a good chunk of time recently talking about that. We met recently in the Pentagon with your Minister of Defense on that very topic. And frankly, it's a breath of fresh air for an ally to want to take more control more quickly. And that is an instinct we want to continue to incentivize. And I think we have to find the balance of where our military O-plans and the responsibilities that U.S. uniformed members have had for decades now is honored as we phase over to wartime OPCON transfer for the Republic of Korea, which we welcome the fact that they want that. And I think it provides even more optionality for both the Koreans and the United States there in the peninsula going forward, which is a very good thing. So I appreciate that question. The second question was from Colonel, the Chinese military. Thank you for that question. And I think I was there when the conversations were had about constructive strategic stability. I think that was a great framing from both leaders about what they want from that relationship. And I think it's hard to understate the importance of the, books have been written about the importance of interpersonal diplomacy and how strong it can be. I think in this particular case, it's quite meaningful. I think there is a mutual respect, a recognition of capabilities and power, and how that could be most usefully leveraged in the world today with both powers. That I want to reassure this audience. I think it's real. I think it's substantive, and I think it's meaningful for the history of peace in the region and the world. And what he has communicated to me is that manifests in mil-to-mil cooperation. That in forums like this, we maximize the opportunities to confer. I wish my counterpart was here at this conference, but I look forward to other options when we can cross paths and communicate, talk about things where often actions at sea or actions in the air are perceived differently when there's no communication than when there's an opportunity at the more tactical or operational level to talk about what deconfliction look like. And I think what you'll get from the United States is good faith engagement. Clear-eyed, but good faith engagement that we are, I understand commander's intent. And President Trump has said we're going to establish this type of framework, and I think it's important for peace in the world. The third question was about defense innovation and private capital's role. The static model of how the United States of America procured weapons and acquired weapons was insufficient for the modern age. You effectively had 5 prime contractors who were appended, in some cases, not all cases, but in too many cases, appendages of the Pentagon bureaucracy, and had been grown accustomed to meeting the cost overruns, the time overruns, and the congressional annual system that gave everyone excuses to perpetuate that. Didn't give us enough, fast enough, always seeking the 100% solution that arrived a decade later, as opposed to the 90% solution that we get in the hands of warfighters 2 years from now. And so I think one of the unsung heroes of our department is my Deputy Secretary of War, Steve Feinberg. He's our secret weapon. He came from the business, truly. If you don't know him, you should get to know him. He came from the business world and has taken that very same business mindset, I think for the first time ever inside the Pentagon, and has effectively said, and there's a lot of micro aspects to this macro approach, but if you want to do business with the Department of War, we'll make a trade with you. We will give you long lead times on critical munitions that we're clearly going to be purchasing for 5 to 7 years, or platforms. We're going to move into platforms. We're going to move into ships. We're going to move into airframes, you name it. We're going to be buying these, and Congress has been willing to move into multi-year procurement for us, which is a statutory requirement eager committees have given us and we have to be responsible with. But in exchange for 5 to 7 years of orders, we're demanding that those companies invest in their own infrastructure. So these companies are paying for new factories, new lines, new production facilities to the tune of $50 billion of capitalization. $50 billion that's not coming from U.S. taxpayers. It's coming from companies who would otherwise, in a world of private incentives, made those investments, but it's become cozy and easy to get the taxpayers to pay for that and then pay for the munitions as well, and we've just done it the same way. So over the next 2 or 3 years, we're going to see hundreds of production lines coming online for critical munitions, so that if we need more Patriots or THAADs or SM-3s or Tomahawks, or our partners do, it's not add another shift to try to eke out another 100. It's build 3 more plants so that we can 3x, 4x, and 5x the
like I was saying earlier, they're gonna actually try to get some American jobs going, build some American plants. This is gonna be key. This is gonna be so good. All right. But we know that this is where we're going with it. There's gonna be machines in there still, probably AI utilization, but I think it's going to be a lot of people jobs because AI can't do all this shit. So this is where the jobs are going to come from. It's going to be a lot of manufacturing parts, screws, different things like that's going to boom. It's going to be. So if you want to be on your capitalism, you want to open up a company, get into one of these kinds of companies where you're manufacturing parts and then get your government contract. They'll pour money into you. You can build your facility, things like that. So Americans, everybody out there, literally spread that word right there. Hey, it's time to start doing the manufacturing, trying to open up a manufacturing company. To get some grants is nothing from the government. You should be able to do that, but you got to have a solid plan. At least understand what it's going to take, and then start getting some minds in line. Start getting together a way that you can present this to people, or at least one person. If you can present this to one person, then you can present it to the government, and then boom, 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 everything should be good. But it's time to start thinking outside the box, guys.
The amount of those munitions that we're creating, which gets skin in the game for those companies as well. And through doing that and opening up our bureaucracy, which we go to war with our bureaucracy every single day, our job is to make sure we don't have 5 prime contractors by the time I'm done, but we've got 10, 15, or 20 who are able to compete on an equal footing, and now you really are building an arsenal. And then if you add on top of that co-production with partners around the world who want to do the same, now you're building a global arsenal of freedom that we require. We take responsibility, we take very seriously our responsibility as the foundation for Western defense, but the more rich countries who have robust manufacturing capabilities get into the defense business, because of the reality of the moment, the more options we're all going to have. And so we welcome that and want to be a leader there. The final question was about India, Pakistan. And I mentioned India here, but I very easily could have mentioned Pakistan in the role that the Field Marshal and the Prime Minister are playing in peace negotiations. I think an unexpected development and a true friendship developing there, which I think is important. And you saw that in the ability of the president to come together on brokering a peace between India and Pakistan, 2 nuclear-capable countries. I think both sides there are going to see understandable threats coming from the other, maybe some of which we see differently, and countries are going to want to develop ICBM threats. But we're not pointing a finger, at least from our view right now, at either country and calling them a threat to us. And we're grateful for.
Oh, wow. They hit us with another commercial. They really like us with these commercials, don't they? Bastards.
In each of their lanes, the benefits they've given to peace around the world.
Excellent. Let us get one more round of comments and questions in. If I can ask for crisp, short questions so that we can get to answers. First one in this round from the United Kingdom, Tom Beckett.
Mr. Secretary, thank you very much. Applauding the defence procurement changes that you're making in the Pentagon, on the 22nd of May, the Acting Secretary of the Navy said that the 14 billion FMS to Taiwan had been paused to preserve stocks for Epic Fury. Looking to the future, that's fine. In the here and now, how do you reconcile that with expedited arms sales for partners?
Thank you very much, Tom. We take another question from China, Don Wang. Your microphone's on.
Thank you for your speech, Secretary Hexas. Most recently, U.S. Forces Korea Commander General Xavier Bronson made a striking remark in a public interview, stating that South Korea is, quote-unquote, a dagger in the heart of Asia aimed at China. This comment stands in a stark contradiction to the spirit of a constructive China-U.S. relationship of strategic stability, which our 2 presidents agreed to build during President Trump's most recent visit to China, which you also just referred to in your speech. President Trump, in particular, has also repeatedly emphasized his desire to forge the best possible relationship with China. My question is simple. Does General Bronson's statement represent the official position of the Trump administration? And is characterization of South Korea's role as a dagger aimed at China authorized or endorsed by the Pentagon? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ooh. So, this is something that I did realize. He didn't really answer Homegirl's question about that. And he repeated it. All right. So that one kind of made me just a little bit like, because he was saying that with some gusto. Like, he was like, yo, you gonna answer this question. You know what I mean? That was intense. He had me going on that one. For real. I was like, yo, how you gonna answer this, bro? Honestly, I already gave the cleanest answer to this one. Look, everything the president said about, China and our relationship with China, everything's still good. We're just getting ready, okay? Just in case anything should happen and you renege on the deal. Because if we let our guard down, see? But I don't know if he's gonna say it. I don't know if he's really gonna say it. We're gonna find out.
much. The general is in the room, so he has an opportunity to perhaps follow up with you in the coffee break. But let me get one or two more questions in for this round. And we'll next turn from India to Vikram Singh. Vipatap.
Thank you, Bastian. Secretary Hegseth, how does the Department of War expect to establish equitable cybersecurity partnerships with allies who may lack the domestic intelligence and technical capabilities? Is there a risk that this may create an overdependence on the US private sector, which might further perpetuate a protection-based model for cybersecurity in the region?
Thank you very much. And we take from New Zealand, Anna Fifil. Anna.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I couldn't help but notice that you...
I'm gonna answer his question real quick about the cybersecurity before I forget. So the cybersecurity situation, and here comes New Zealand over there with Australia. Didn't I say they was gonna come up? All right, that's gonna be interesting. We'll see what they couldn't help but notice. All right. Anyways, let's go. So with the cybersecurity, and then he was talking about in regions that don't have the domestic intelligence, the people to actually, be able to run it, and they don't have the actual financial capability to sustain it, right? Is that going to make more dependence on the United States or any kind of other outside influences, right? To answer that, it's like, all right, look, we can train people, and we can send some of our people, there's plenty of people that can learn, and then there can be different schools that can be established to teach people this kind of stuff, and those things can be implemented by whatever United Nations or whatever, budget that our partners have and stuff like that. These things can be mitigated, where it's like, or mediated, whichever one you want to talk about. These things can be mediated where it's like, here and there programs, things like that, online courses, understanding, and then there's translation, and then what it's going to do is it's going to force other countries to implement better school systems, build infrastructure, things like that, incentives, stuff, things like, but corruption is always there. So it's all about what country you're talking about, right?
New Zealand was missing from your list of countries there. They have recently outlined a plan to get from 1% to 2% of GDP, a long way from 3.5. Would you consider New Zealand to be a free rider? Thank you.
Certainly sharp and clear question.
That is funny. So New Zealand wasn't mentioned because nobody really expects much from New Zealand. I'm not gonna lie. I think they're their own country now and they're separate from Australia. They claim their independence, something like that. So, I mean, I don't know. What do you expect from New Zealand? It's there, but I don't know. It seemed like peaceful. I don't know. It seemed kind of like a peaceful place. I don't know who, right? But, New Zealand, it's time to get into the game, put some skin in the game, right? It's time. And they wondering if they do or they don't. do we have to put skin in the game or what? So that's funny. But no, I think this goes for everybody in that area.
We will take from Australia, which I think was mentioned, and our young leader group, Lee Sun. Over to you.
Thank you. By order of risk to strategic equilibrium, what issues or conflicts in the region is the US most concerned about?
Okay, thank you very much. And I'll just lob in one final one from Thailand. Panitan Watan Yagoporn, your mic is on.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for your remarks. Very strong, loud, and super clear. In Thailand, I think Thai public opinion about the US is not good, given the fact that we are one of the oldest allies and benefited a lot more from trade, surprisingly. On the other hand, public opinion about China is not that bad, still very good, given the fact that the Chinese scammers are doing a lot of damages to Thai Republic and a lot of Chinese weapons on Thai-Cambodian borders. Under your leadership, what can you do about it? And if I may, what can Thailand do more about it, in your opinion? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So again, a very rich set of themes to choose from. Perhaps, Mr. Secretary, I'll invite you to...
Yo, Thailand is like the hood, so you know what's up. So they like, yo, we need some help out here in this ocean. So that's real. I mean, yo, you're an ally. It's time to hook you up. It's time to go in there and stop all this shit. I'm just playing. But no, for real.
Address that first point on Taiwan arms sales, and then we'll get through the other questions.
Yeah, I would, on the Taiwan arms sales, I would very much decouple the two, and we feel very good about our stockpiles, both how we use them and in epic fury in this historic moment. And I don't think enough credit has been given to President Trump for his willingness to take on this global threat and do so through Admiral Cooper and our CENTCOM commander in a devastatingly effective way. And status as of right now is that any deal will be a good deal. And I had a chance to talk to President Trump this morning. He wanted me to reiterate how patient he is in ensuring that with America undertaking this kind of historic endeavor, any deal will be a good one, a great one. And he's patient in the pursuit of that because of how the implications of how that sorts out. And certainly our department, we were in a cabinet meeting just a couple of days ago, and the president said, hey, it will be a great deal. And if Iran doesn't want to make a great deal that ensures they don't get a nuclear weapon, they can deal with the guy on my left. That was the only time I've ever been accused of being on the left. And he was pointing at the War Department. And we're serious about that. Our ability to recommence if necessary is, we are more than capable. Our stockpiles are more than suited for that, both there and around the globe, because of how we balance exquisite and more plentiful munitions. So we're in a very good place. And I wouldn't, Hung Kao is fantastic, but I would not couple the two in any way at all. And I feel good about not only where we are, but where we are in future production rates as well. And I think there's been a lot of false reporting with the wrong motives about where we might be, the United States of America. We're in a very, very strong position and feel only better about where we're going in the future. Any decision about future Taiwan arms sales, as the president said, will rest with him. And as a nature of that relationship, and certainly having been there for those meetings in Beijing, there's no change in our status there. So just to clarify, since the good general was name checked, I don't know if he wants to say anything.
All right, so he basically skated around a lot of stuff right there. I'll give him props. He got the shit out the way. Our stockpiles are good all over the globe. Awesome, cool. That's why we're ramping up more. So that way we can have more, just in case. And guess what? We're gonna send stuff there too, right? And this is why they want more competitors. That's why I'm saying they're gonna start endorsing manufacturing in America. So this is one of the jobs that's coming up. It's gonna have to be some people that are, you're not a multi-millionaire, but you got a couple millions or whatever, and you wanted to do something, or if you're in a situation where you want to start a company, this is something that you could look into. Not only is it going to employ a lot of people, but the government wants United States contracting. So finding United States materials is going to be a big thing. Talking about gunpowder, different minerals like that. We have them all over the United States. So looking up those companies that mine those kinds of things is going to be, hey, yo, I'm going to need to get some of that because I want to do some manufacturing, blah, 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 make a deal with them when you got the money. But you have to really have your dots together. This is an endeavor that's going to change the world right now, as we know it. It's going to be military and manufacturing munitions and things like that. Different parts for missiles and whatnot. They're going to open up these different manufacturers for chips and data and stuff like that. And all we have to do is Greenland has a lot of the stuff we need for mining. And they want to test out their new mining material for the Arctic because they've been doing that up in Alaska for a long time as well. Alaska's got some resources, Canada's got some up there. So they're going to do a lot of mining. Mining is going to be a big job, right? These are things that are going to wherever they're mining at. That's why you got Africa, Cambodia, all these different places. They have different materials. So when the manufacturing rips up, which is what he was talking about, and we start doing all this manufacturing, we're going to actually need all of y'all, because y'all going to have the different materials we need so we can actually build these things, because we need to lean less on Taiwan. But not really gonna say it, but you know, he's dancing.
I would always give the floor to an esteemed American general, General Brunson, on South Korea, and then I'll take it from there if you want. I don't know if you can turn his mic on.
Yeah, can we turn on General Brunson's mic, please? Can you press the button on the? I think if we can get some support here, please. We need to insert the badge probably. Okay, yeah, there we go. General.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for that. Gentlemen, if you could please raise your hand, the gentleman who asked the question, that I'm going to look at you directly. What I said was trying to describe the operating environment, because what's incredibly important in being strong and quiet is about being able to describe the environment wherein we're working. If you remember, the Prussian philosopher, military philosopher Clemens talked about Korea being a dagger pointed at Japan. The difference is we have to change our perspective, which is why the East Up map is important. By changing our perspective, we take into account how others might see us in the region. We've got to be strong. We've got to have the right capabilities within the Republic of Korea, but we have to understand that those things still exist, and you have to combat those things every day. What I was trying to do in a place of learning was talk to War College students about how we have to change our perspective and think about where we are. Then I can advise not only my service secretary, but then my secretary, my boss in the Department of War, on what things we might do. The secretary also mentioned OPCON transfer.
Abraham Lincoln.
All right, so cool part is they have the general up here able to describe and reiterate, hey, actually, this is bigger than all of us. Okay, this is bigger than all of us. And if you come to me and you want to have a conversation, I'm gonna tell them, and we're gonna work some stuff out. I know what to do. Because defensively, if you guys are trying to provoke or anything like that, that's not okay. That's not okay by any means. Especially if you guys want to flex some muscles, then it's just like, yo, the conversation changes. Okay? So, you know, that's something they're not really taking into consideration. And he's trying to put that out there. Now, that commercial break's over. We can get back to it.
The position that we have within the peninsula, based on our great allies represented by Minister of Defense Kickback, who's right here in the front row, is important. But what's also important is that we have the right capabilities at the right place in the right time, but also take into account our perspectives. I'm encouraged by the fact that my president and my secretary went to China. That is tremendous. And that we might have increased relationships where we might talk. And we have to remember that when we're talking to students, we want them to understand and appreciate other perspectives other than our own. So many times, and over the course of my career and the secretary's career, we've thought blue and red. Mm-hmm. Well, now there's a green there where we might have in this green space the opportunity to talk and to have military thought. The only way there will be philosophers in the future wearing uniforms like myself will be that we enter into the field of ideas. And we challenge ideas. And I'm okay with the challenge of the ideas, but we have to remember that context will always be king. And we have to take remarks contextually. And I would encourage that you listen to the entire podcast, as well as the speech that I gave to the War College students, which was pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that response.
He said, if you actually heard what I said, then you wouldn't even be feeling the way you're feeling right now. But if you go back and listen real close, especially with the context, then you're gonna get it right. A lot of people aren't very good at listening. And, you know, he goes on to one of the points that I've made before. A lot of people hear what they thought you said, not what you actually said. Damn, did I hit him with the shit though?
Give him the mic.
Very good. We've got 2-3 minutes left to get to.
I'd like to give the remainder of my time to the general.
New Zealand defense spending. We've got that question on prioritizing regional challenges and conflicts, and then there was a question from Thailand as well.
There was a question on cybersecurity as well. I think what you've seen from our operations is how central we've made that capability, how important it is, how decisive it can be, and now that we're moving into the brave new world of AI and what it enables, the United States has incredible private sector advantages there that we intend to responsibly harness, which would require understanding how they work and how they can be utilized offensively or defensively, but responsibly, and working with partners on cyber. And those cyber relationships is going to be a huge part of how we enable partners, whether it's AI or not. New Zealand, I appreciate the question. Listen, I mean, if I'm being honest, 2% is not enough, and so 2% is freeloading, but I don't have anything against New Zealand. I want partners to step up. I didn't intentionally leave it off of my list. I look forward to working with the new defense minister there and enhancing those capabilities. I think that relationship has been a very fruitful one for a very long time. But I think, as my friends Richard Morales and John Healy know, I'm probably the most blunt with our closest friends about what our capabilities are and where they need to be to ensure that we're locking arms and shields considering the threats of the world. And we can't just say, oh, we've been friends for a long time, so let's work together. It's we've been friends for a long time, so you better have the same capabilities we do, because if we don't, our alliance is meaningless. And that's the kind of realism President Trump has asked me to inject into all relationships. I can't remember the last question.
There was a question on Thailand. Public, yeah.
Yeah, I had a great meeting with, one of our oldest allies, almost 200 years, and I think played a very constructive role and is continuing to try to play a constructive role in how that conflict gets resolved. Had a great meeting yesterday with the Minister of Defense, and I think we found some public ways and some private ways that we can deepen our partnership meaningfully. So certainly very committed to that relationship.
Fantastic. Secretary Hegseth, thank you so much for being at the Shangri-La Dialogue. It's a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Nice. Okay, that was cool. Very informative, right? So we got the gist of it. A lot of people would probably look at that and try to demonize him for some reason. Like I said, he dodged a lot of questions. He dodged all that China questions for sure. He didn't say nothing about China. That's a hard one. 'Cause it's like, you know what's up. You know what's up, China. You know what's up. They don't know what's up. They're just like, bro, what's this all about? I thought we was cool. It's just like, yeah, we cool, but, you know, gotta watch my back. It's like that. And he didn't want to say it. He didn't want to say it. Ah, shit. He was like, nah, G. I'm not turning my back to you. That's funny. Oh, man, that's hilarious. But you got to take that stuff into consideration. The world, man, it's a funny place, right? So we got that out the way. Now you guys know what's up with the whole word thing. So now we're on the Pacific. So we started right here at home base with Venezuela, right here in our little Gulf of America. Ah, dang, that's funny. Yo, we snatched it up. We snatched the Panama back. Cause it's like, yo, y'all just letting people have it. Like, nah, we ain't doing all that. It's crazy. It's crazy that it had to come down to this. And now Mexico cartel is on the chopping block. All the cartels is on the chopping block now. That's interesting. This is dang, man, this is now I see why they want to make a deal with Greenland so bad. Yeah, man, if they make a deal with Greenland, all that mining and all that, bruh, there's not enough people in Greenland to work all those jobs, so there's gonna be some United States job openings in Greenland. Bet that. Man, let's see. Wow, that there was so much in that video, man. Yo, homeboy wasn't trying to say nothing about China. That's so funny, bro. That's hilarious. Oh, damn. Oh, man. Wow. This is funny. Okay, dang. That blew my mind. That blew my mind. That was mind blowing. That was yesterday. It's crazy. Like, nobody heard this shit yet. Man. All right, so started here in Pacific. Then we went to the East because they started kicking up dust. Yeah, you can't do that. Can't be making trouble. And then we went over here to the Pacific. I told y'all. And man, woo. Man, this is a game of risk, man. I've been telling them. Don't nobody want to listen. It's kudos. They laughed at me. Said, man, oh, this is 3D chess. Like, nah, you guys are tripping, bro. Chess is chess, bro. Like, y'all playing. Like, that's not, the board's too small. Like, the mindset is too little. Like, when you're doing Risk, there's a whole world map, and you're trying to take this whole bitch. Like, yo, that game is it's fun. You gotta get with it. Wow, that speech was mind-blowing, G. I can't believe you said that. You dodged all them questions. It's crazy. So we did the perspective on that. I made it as plain as possible. Ooh, conservative women versus trans women. I don't know if I want to go there. Let's see. Oh no. Well, I mean that was That's fun, kind of. That 60 minutes episode's kind of fun. Let's see. I guess, I mean, I could call it a day. I could call it. We could do something else down there. Let's see. I don't know. We'll do. I'll do this real quick. All right, so yeah, that speech was funny. Oh man, that was hilarious. All right, let me see. Perspective. Man, I don't know. What was the main point of that other shit? Man, there's just so much going on. All right, we did all that. So I think I should just call it, huh? And then come back tomorrow. Think that'll be good for the world. We've been at it for 2 hours. That's long enough. All right, guys. Well, shout out to all the people that put in work. We appreciate you. You make the world go round. People that worked overtime. If you got a job, hell yeah. The world doesn't go around without you. And I guess it's time for me to shut the fuck up. I'm gonna have a little clip here. And that sucks. It's whatever though. You know how it is. StreamYard was playing with me. But last words of wisdom. Make sure you rest well. Everybody, make sure you guys take it easy on yourself. Remember, all the choices we make not only have consequences, but they affect everybody. Everything we do has a splash effect, and those ripples go out and they change other people's lives. So there's a point to our existence. There's a point to everything in all of this. So make sure you are aware of your own existence and the ability you have to affect others, because that is something that you cannot, it's something you can't take back. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your thing. All right, I'm out. My little homegirl put me on. She said, this shit brand new, free flow. Lady rappers been acting like this is not an art. Huh, you forgot about that part. Lady rappers been acting like this is not an art. Huh, you forgot about that part. Lady rappers been spitting like they ain't got a heart. Because when I step to the game, I rip that shit apart. My evolution with the Gyarados from Magic Carp, and I ain't finished shopping till the whole world is in my cart. Fucking with me, you choose a role and play your part.
If you do not want to better yourself, if you do not want to strategize outside of this matrix,
always feel this hard. Only
if you want to live in your comfortable delusion that they have built
as hard as I can against all of the odds, pushing as hard as I could is what got me so far. But what are my chances actually reaching the stars? Still, I will never get up tatted over my heart. Never my senses heightened and my weed up in the jar. Sexy Middle Eastern looking ass like I'm Jafar.
If you are not
when
here
it comes to the game, I'm an eagle, you're par. Please don't get
something that's outside of your own mind and accept others' minds and opinions, the way they think for themselves, you do not belong here.
Your favorite rapper try hard, still isn't Mark. Still, like the fuel to the game, watch it spark.
be positive, if you are not trying to help create solutions while we discuss the problems and how they got here, you do not belong here. Negativity, hate, disrespect, name-calling, those things will not be allowed here on this platform, and not in this empire. We are the ones, the true Americans, that want to be free and stand as we have always stood.